Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. My today's video is on they rather prove what Islam says about Mecca. Some hostile YouTube lecturers pose for researchers of Islam to claim that the current history of Islam, which claims it as the Abrahamic religion, is false because the city of Mecca did not exist during the time of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhis salam. They tried to prove that no city like Mecca was there at that time in the caravan route from Yemen. I want to ask them some humble questions. Who is the fool that told you that Mecca was a city during the time of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhis salam, whom you wrongly call Abraham? Why do you claim in the name of Islam which Islam never claimed? Abraham built the Kaaba. Does it mean that he made Mecca, or Mecca city was there at that time? No. Does the non-existence of the Mecca city anyhow prove that the name of that locality or area was not Mecca at that time? Who told you that a city grow without bearing the name of that locality in which the city stands? Don't you know the plain truth that the area always exists before a city grows therein? According to Islam, Mecca was barren, desolate and bare at the time of Abraham. That is why Hajar or Hagar and Ismail were left there to the mercy of Almighty. And the Zamzam came into being for them, and Abraham built the Kaaba in that desolate place, in the wilderness. That is the Islamic version of its history. Where do you find Mecca city in Ibrahim's time, and why are you opposing an un-Islamic idea to oppose Islam? Nonsense. Again, who are the fools to claim a locality's existence is dependent on the possibility of being it on the route of some other places like Yemen? Foolish. A dwelling place may exist long before it become an attraction to the caravans, or without being a city, without being described in any important documents of history or geography. Why don't you understand such simple things? Who has told you that you can prove Islam false by proving that Mecca was not there during Abraham's time? Islam itself claims Mecca's non-existence at that time. What can you oppose or disprove then? Why do you always misread? You only prove what Islam claims to be true. That is, the place was desolate at that time when Abraham, Hagar and Ishmael lived, and the Kaaba was built. I would like to request you to read the following history of Mecca as told in the Sahih al-Bukhari, book number 55, hadith number 583. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the first lady to use a girdle was the mother of Ishmael. She used a girdle so that she might hide her tracks from Sarah. Abraham brought her and her son Ishmael while she was suckling him, to a place near the Kaaba under a tree on the spot of Zamzam, at the highest place in the mosque. During those days there was nobody in Mecca, nor was there any water. So, he made them sit over there and placed near them a leather bag containing some dates, and a small water skin containing some water, and set out homeward. Ishmael's mother followed him saying, "O Allah's prophet, where are you going, leaving us in this valley where there is no person whose company we may enjoy, nor is there anything to enjoy?" She repeated that to him many times, but he did not look back at her. Then she asked him, "Has Allah ordered you to do so?" He said, "Yes." She said, "Then he will not neglect us," and returned while Abraham proceeded onwards, and on reaching the Thaniya where they could not see him, he faced the Kaaba, and raising both hands, invoked Allah, saying the following prayers: "O our Lord, I have made some of my offspring dwell in a valley without cultivation, by your sacred house, Kaaba at Mecca, in order, O our Lord, that they may offer prayer perfectly. So fill some hearts among men with love towards them, and, O Allah, provide them with fruits, so that they may give thanks." 14.37 Ishmael's mother went on suckling Ishmael and drinking from the water she had. When the water in the water skin had all been used up, she became thirsty and her child also became thirsty. She started looking at him, that is Ishmael, tossing in agony. She left him, for she could not endure looking at him, and found that the mountain of Safa was the nearest mountain to her on that land. She stood on it and started looking at the valley keenly so that she might see somebody, but she could not see anybody. Then she descended from Safa, and when she reached the valley, she tucked up her robe and ran in the valley like a person in distress and trouble, till she crossed the valley and reached the Marwa mountain, where she stood and started looking, expecting to see somebody, but she could not see anybody. She repeated that, running between Safa and Marwa, 7 times. The Prophet said, "This is the source of the tradition of the walking of people between them, that is Safa and Marwa." When she reached the Marwa, for the last time, she heard a voice and she asked herself to be quiet and listened attentively. She heard the voice again and said, "Oh, whoever you may be, you have made me hear your voice. Have you got something to help me?" And behold, she saw an angel at the place of Zamzam, digging the earth with his heel, or his wing, till water flowed from that place. She started to make something like a basin around it, using her hand in this way, and started filling her water skin with water with her hands, and the water was flowing out after she had scooped some of it. The Prophet added, "May Allah bestow mercy on Ishmael's mother. Had she let the Zamzam flow without trying to control it, or had she not scooped from that water, to fill her water skin, Zamzam would have been a stream flowing on the surface of the earth." The Prophet further added, "Then she drank water, and suckled her child." The angel said to her, "Don't be afraid of being neglected, for this is the house of Allah which will be built by this boy and his father, and Allah never neglects his people." The house, that is Kaaba, at that time was on a high place resembling a hillock, and when torrents came, they flowed to its right and left. She lived in that way till some people from the tribe of Jeram or a family from Jeram passed by her and her child, as they, that is the Jeram people, were coming through the way of Qada. They landed in the lower part of Mecca, where they saw a bird that had the habit of flying around water and not leaving it. They said, "This bird must be flying around water, though we know that there is no water in this valley." They sent 1 or 2 messengers who discovered the source of water, and returned to inform them of the water. So, they all came towards the water. The Prophet added, "Ishmael's mother was sitting near the water." They asked her, "Do you allow us to stay with you?" She replied, "Yes, but you will have no right to possess the water." They agreed to that. The Prophet further said, Ishmael's mother was pleased with the whole situation, as she used to love to enjoy the company of the people. So, they settled there. And later on they sent for their families, who came and settled with them, so that some families became permanent residents there. The child, that is Ishmael, grew up and learnt Arabic from them, and his virtues caused them to love and admire him as he grew up, and when he reached the age of puberty they made him marry a woman from amongst them. After Ishmael's mother had died, Abraham came after Ishmael's marriage in order to see his family that he had left before, but he did not find Ishmael there. When he asked Ishmael's wife about him, she replied, "He has gone in search of our livelihood." Then he asked her about their way of living and their condition, and she replied, "We are living in misery, we are living in hardship and destitution," complaining to him. He said, "When your husband returns, convey my salutation to him and tell him to change the threshold of the gate of his house." When Ishmael came back, he seemed to have felt something unusual, so he asked his wife, "Has anyone visited you?" She replied, "Yes, an old man of so-and-so description came and asked me about you, and I informed him. And he asked about our state of living, and I told him that we were living in a hardship and poverty." On that Ishmael said, "Did he advise you anything?" She replied, "Yes, he told me to convey his salutation to you and to tell you to change the threshold of your gate." Ishmael said, "It was my father, and he has ordered me to divorce you. Go back to your family." So, Ishmael divorced her and married another woman from amongst them, that is Jeram. Then Abraham stayed away from them for a period as long as Allah wished and called on them again but did not find Ishmael. So he came to Ishmael's wife and asked her about Ishmael. She said, "He has gone in search of our livelihood." Abraham asked her, "How are you getting on?" asking her about their sustenance and living. She replied, "We are prosperous and well off, that is, we have everything in abundance." Then she thanked Allah. Abraham said, "What kind of food do you eat?" She said, "Meat." He said, "What do you drink?" She said, "Water." He said, "O Allah, bless their meat and water." The Prophet added, "At that time they did not have grain, and if they had grain, he would have also invoked Allah to bless it." The Prophet added, "If somebody has only these two things as his sustenance, his health and disposition will be badly affected, unless he lives in Mecca." The Prophet added, "Then Abraham said to Ishmael's wife, 'When your husband comes, give my regards to him and tell him that he should keep firm the threshold of his gate.'" When Ishmael came back, he asked his wife, "Did anyone call on you?" She replied, "Yes, a good-looking old man came to me," so she praised him and added, "He asked about you, and I informed him, and he asked about our livelihood and I told him that we were in a good condition." Ishmael asked her, "Did he give you any piece of advice?" She said, "Yes, he told me to give his regards to you and ordered that you should keep firm the threshold of your gate." On that Ishmael said, "It was my father, and you are the threshold of the gate. He has ordered me to keep you with me." Then Abraham stayed away from them for a period as long as Allah wished, and called on them afterwards. He saw Ishmael under a tree near Zamzam, sharpening his arrows. When he saw Abraham, he stood up to welcome him, and they greeted each other as a father does with his son or a son does with his father. Abraham said, "O Ishmael, Allah has given me an order." Ishmael said, "Do what your Lord has ordered you to do." Abraham asked, "Will you help me?" Ishmael said, "I will help you." Abraham said, "Allah has ordered me to build a house here," pointing to a hillock higher than the land surrounding it. The Prophet added, "Then they raised the foundations of the house, that is the Kaaba." Ishmael brought the stones and Abraham was building, and when the walls became high, Ishmael brought this stone and put it for Abraham who stood over it and carried on building, while Ishmael was handing him the stones, and both of them were saying, "O our Lord, accept this service from us, verily, you are the all-hearing, the all-knowing." The Prophet added, Then both of them went on building and going round the Kaaba saying, "O our Lord, accept this service from us, verily, you are the all-hearing, the all-knowing. 2.127, Book number 55, Hadith number 583. This description of Hadith proves Islam's claim without doubt that Mecca was not a city during the time of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhis salam. It was only a living place of some Arab people surrounding the Zamzam. So, the so-called researchers who try to prove that Mecca was traceless at that time is in line with the Islamic history. Their vehemence against Islam in this respect goes against themselves. Islam never claimed that Mecca city was in existence during Ibrahim's time. Therefore it is useless to prove such a well-known fact, and any such attempts will not help anybody in any way to fight against the popularity of Islam.